Hi, it's Jackie Eister Songistry coming to you live from Indianapolis, Indiana. And I have with me Jim O'Farrell and Jason Crawford of the J.O.B. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, Jackie. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Beautiful day here. So now...
Rainy and overcast day.
Huh?
Rainy and overcast here in Richmond.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's like the second week of October here in Richmond today. It's sort of unusual.
Really? Now, see, it's been hot here so bad that, oh, my goodness. Ooh, like today,
Yeah,
I've got...
It's been a good southern summer so far for us. It's unusual today. It's a little bit of a reprieve, though.
Yeah, well, hey, if it works, it works, right? I got both air conditioners running. So, anyway, can you tell me how did you guys come to meet, and how did you get started in music?
Jason, you want to take that?
Well, what year was that?
2005, 2006.
So in 2005, I was between bands, and Jim was between deployments in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we met through MySpace Music, and we decided we wanted to try to get together and jam and see, what if there's anything interesting, if there would be anything there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, and Jim had some really well-written songs that I thought I could develop some unique guitar parts to accompany his music. And I got a recording from him that day, took it home, and I just worked out some compositions around that, and we both liked what we heard, and from there, we're here today as the J.O.B. 8 years later.
Yes, it's been an interesting run so far. We've got together between deployments for me. I was home after my first trip to Iraq for about 4 months, and in that 4-month period, we did a little CD at a studio up in Fairfax, Virginia, up in Falls Church, Virginia, called Q Studios, and it was just a 6 or 7 track live recording in the studio with the guitar and the vocal mic, just all at the same time without doing separate tracks. Pretty primitive, but with the time we had and everything else, it's all we really could do. And that was like the first piece that we ever did together. And shortly after we recorded that, I went back over to Iraq again. I was gone for a little over a year. And then when I came back, we linked back up and started the band.
Wow. Now
that album's called Stranger.
Oh, okay. Because you guys will hold on a minute, because I do want to say this, because I have done my homework today. I see that. First of all, you have done multiple live television broadcasts, live in studio radio music shows. You've been featured in Virginia Lottery's Truckin' for Cash.
That's right.
That's the television commercial, which had a 6-month run on network and cable TV. That's wonderful. Wow.
That was a cold day, too, doing that lottery commercial. That was something else.
It was like The Revenant.
It was 20 degrees outside, and it was the back of the two pickup trucks that were pushed together, a brand new Ford and a brand new Chevy. And the lottery game was, if you scratch the right ticket, you win one of these brand new pickup trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And we were representing the cool sound system that comes in these brand new trucks. So we had the whole band set up in the bed of these 2 pickups as if they were a stage.
Mm-hmm.
So we were shooting a spot from sunrise till sundown, outdoors in the snow, here locally to the city. And it was nonstop. It was about 20, 25 degrees the entire day. It was cold. It was a good day, though. It was a good gig.
Oh, I bet it was. That sounds awesome. Because I'm reading here, and I'll wait for my other question for once we start talking about the actual songs.
Uh-huh.
But what I would like to know is, how did you guys start in music, and how old were you? What was your first instrument that you guys picked up?
Well, for me, it's easy. I grew up, my house was filled with the turntable and the big console stereo turning all the time, the radio playing And I think it's a toss-up between Gordon Lightfoot and Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, yeah.
That really put the hooks into me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always played guitar. My father had a guitar he used to bang around on and strum. Still has one, and he still strums on it. And I just sort of picked up his guitar and started trying to play the songs I was listening to the CCR, John Fogerty, and Gordon Lightfoot playing on the radio. Mm-hmm. And that's it. My earliest memories that I have as a human being, I have a guitar in my hand.
Wow. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, my first instrument was actually acoustic guitar. I played electric guitar in the band.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, acoustic guitar is my first instrument. And a lot of the music that I would say first influenced me to play music for a living was things like Michael Jackson, and then there's like Curtis Blow, Prince,
mm-hmm.
Africa Bambaataa, just a lot of things, jazz, just basically a lot of pop music from the late 80s, early 90s, and then I got into punk, metal, hardcore, noise, avant-garde. So they're just, I bring a lot of different influences to the J.O.B.
Oh, definitely. Excuse me. I hear a lot of, I want to say almost like kind of like a jazz guitar mix, almost like a little bit of like a jazz country sound with like a rock beat to it for Red Eye. When I listened to it, I had to turn around and come back in here, and I turned it back because I wanted to hear the very beginning of it again, because I was like, wait, because I really thought that you guys were country at first. And then once I started listening, I was like, wow, well, if this is country, this is a new kind of country that I actually really, really like. And, I mean, I love new country. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. I just, I think I've countryed myself out when I lived in Tennessee. So
I understand.
And I love hearing that almost like you guys have like in my opinion, like that heavy metal AM radio sound. That's to me what it sounded like. And I know it may sound, strange, but to me, that would be the only kind of way I could really describe your music. And I really, really liked it. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And like I've said with a couple of bands that remind me of the type of music that you guys fall into, I'll just put it that way, because you guys are very original, and that's what I love. I love to hear in my ear. I could tell what somebody that grew up in the 70s, somebody that grew up in the 80s, the 90s, I can even tell 50s and 60s. And, the variety of genres and stuff. And, but you guys are mixing it all together. I really, really enjoyed it. And I cannot wait for my people to hear it. They're going to be like, yeah. So, anyway, getting back to it.
And that's truly one of the things that I believe makes us unique, is that the J.O.B. is a reflection of the musical personalities and backgrounds of every artist in the band. So I think that's one of the things that's why I think that's maybe why people hear a lot of different influences, is because we don't set out to create a certain type of music or a certain genre of music. It's just, the creation is just, it's natural development. It develops naturally.
And that really comes back to speaking what Jason was just saying, just to tag on that. It's, I'm, as I mentioned, a very heavily influenced Gordon Lightfoot type of songwriter, mm-hmm. But there are plenty of others as well. I'm constantly listening to new music. I just bought the new Storm Corrosion album with a Robert Johnson album, so I'm constantly exposing myself to new music and trying to see what all's out there, and listening for things that I like and things that I would like to use.
Right.
And Jason, with his background, he comes into it, and he's younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our bass player, Len. He's my age, but his background is in jazz, fusion jazz.
I could tell that.
Type of music.
Yes.
Say again?
I said I could tell that by listening to
mm-hmm.
the way his bass runs. Yeah, I could tell.
Oh, sure. And then we have Eric on drums, and Eric is a Led Zeppelin, John Bonham kind of influenced drummer.
Mm-hmm.
So we just sort of all come together in one room, and I basically do like a little, I'll write a song with an acoustic guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get the song structure down and the lyrics down, and I'll bring it into the music room with the guys, and I'll run through it one time, just singer-songwriter style.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they dig it, then they'll pick up their instruments and say, hey, I can do this and I can do that, and then the collaboration starts. And we spend a month or more between the four of us on every single song that we put together before we ever even put it in our live set list. And
Wow.
so it comes out into the funnel as it comes out after the music room. That's the way it works.
Well, let me ask you something. I know even with the age difference and stuff, who's writing the lyrics? And are you guys pulling from each one of your experiences? Like, Jason comes over and says, hey, Jim, I've had a rough day and blah, 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 blah. And you kind of see his thing from like a younger perspective, and he's kind of getting that understanding from the older perspective?
Well, Jim writes a lot of the basic structures of the songs on acoustic guitar, very singer-songwriter style. And then from there, we each reinterpret the song, and we sort of we collaborate based on our own experience. So if the song has a certain mood, we kind of reflect on that and then bring that kind of atmosphere to the song.
But that was a really good question. I understood the first part of it was the lyrics. I do write all the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And my biggest influence as a lyric writer isn't Gordon Lightfoot or anybody else. I read Walt Whitman and Robert Frost and poetry mostly, and a lot of the classics. And I like to read what writers write, and I like to see how that, like for instance, Walt Whitman, how he makes a poem flow, how it's structured, and the idea is conveyed from the start to the finish. And that's really where I draw my writing inspiration from. And I sort of look at the experiences that I've had, and after having been in the military for so long and then being out in the world and traveling and so forth, there's a lot to write about.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said no. Yes, I agree with you completely. I love the one thing I like is, and I can tell it's someone that usually reads poetry, is the way your words flow. You make sentences, but your sentences are pretty. We'll put it that way.
Well, thank you.
And it's different than somebody that writes, that doesn't come from a poetic stance. You know what I mean? And the flow is there because they put it there, but it's different when it's actually written to flow, like a poem. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I tried my hand at greeting cards, but this is a whole lot more fun.
I can imagine. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, tell me about the song On the Run. What was that about, and, what was going on when you wrote it?
Well, On the Run is that's one of our outlaw songs. We write, there's certain types of songs I like to do from time to time, and On the Run is an outlaw song from our last album, Portrait. Mm-hmm. And what had happened, the inspiration for that song, I was actually on a cross-country bus trip, taking a Greyhound from Richmond, Virginia to Little Rock, Arkansas, to visit with my middle son and his wife and their brand new baby, my first little grandchild.
Aww.
So I'm on this Greyhound bus, and I'm trekking cross-country. And we stop in Bristol, Tennessee. We just crossed the line and we're at the Greyhound station. And as everybody's getting off the bus, I was sitting back toward the back. And I think I'm the last guy on there, and two police officers got on at the front of the bus. And they looked all the way down the aisle, and I could feel their eyeballs just burning a hole.
Uh-huh. Hello?
And there in the very back row is the guy they were looking for. And I stepped out of the way. These two cops came running down the aisle, grabbed this guy, and drug him off the bus. Mm-hmm. Well, everyone gets back on the bus ready to go to Bristol. And nobody really knew the story behind that. Everybody was, I wonder what happened. So everybody was speculating. And I thought, well, what would Mark Twain do in this situation? So I just got my legal pad out, and I got my pencil, and I sort of built a story around what I thought had happened to this guy that they drug off the bus. So the song On the Run is written from the perspective of the fugitive who has reached the end of the line. And that's sort of the inspiration behind that.
Wow. See, my family's from Bristol, Tennessee. Now I'm wondering if it was a cousin. Isn't that terrible? Anyway, I'm sorry.
I thought it might have been one of my cousins saying it.
Well, I don't know. When I was living in Tennessee, my cousin kept telling me, he goes, whatever you do, don't date anybody here. And I said, why? And he goes, Jackie, you're a Hobbs. You're related to everybody. And I was like, oh, wow. And I guess I never realized that until I met my husband, my second husband. And I told him, I said, now, you're sure you're not from Tennessee? He goes, no, I'm from Indiana. I'm like, okay, Indiana's fine from what I understand.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, tell me about Who Do I Call? What is that about?
Who Do I Call is it's a breakup song. It's a song of lost love that is set today. Instead of the old Everly Brothers kind of breaking up and hard to do and all that, this is Who Do I Call. The guy he's suddenly, after this romance, he's on his own. He's about to catch a plane and leave with nothing, and he has no one to call to talk to. So he's got his phone and he's looking at his contacts, and who do I call? He doesn't know because he's just heartbroken. And that's sort of that's what that song is about. And then what we did on that song is we're very fortunate to have a good friend of ours named Renee Bailey. She's a singer here in Richmond, fantastic singer, and a very good friend of us, of the entire band, of mine in the band. And we asked her if she would like to, if she would mind coming into the studio and recording some backing and harmony vocals with us. And she loved the idea and met us in the studio. So all the beautiful harmonies that are there, that's not me. That's Renee Bailey just belting it out and doing a wonderful job. So that's sort of the story behind that song.
Okay. Well, I kind of wondered because when I listened to it a couple of times, and even though I write, and, everybody's perception of stuff is different, and I wasn't really sure. I was like, well, this is one of those songs that I can't really tell if, the person's I've been absolutely heartbroken to the point where, I feel like, I have nowhere to turn. And, you think somebody has just, ripped your heart out through your nose. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah, okay. That answers that question. Now, tell me.
I think everybody has that type of common experience. I don't think there's an adult, heck, there's not a person in their teens, I think, that can identify with some heartbreak in their life. And so that's sort of this song makes that connection, I think.
Oh, yeah. But what kind of got me, what it kind of puts me to mind, too, is You'll Never Close Your Eyes Anymore. What is the name? When I Kissed You.
Say that again?
You Lost That Loving Feeling.
Oh, You've Lost That Loving Feeling. That's a Righteous Brothers.
Yeah, and I don't know why that came to mind. Seriously, when I was listening, that's the first thing that came to mind.
Well, that's cool, because the song, the way we recorded that with their vocal harmonies and so forth, it's very big. There's a lot of air and a lot of harmony. There's a lot of music going on. Mm-hmm. And I think the Righteous Brothers song is also very symphonic. It's very large and big and has a lot of instrumentation. Where they're large in harmonic instrumentation, I think we were large in vocal harmonies. I think that's probably the similarity between the two.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, that one kind of, like I said, that's what put me to mind of it when I heard it was the Righteous Brothers.
Well, that's very cool.
So now tell me about
old Susanna or one of those. Cat came back, there's all kinds of good interest.
No, I can't really say that. Actually, it's like I said, I really, at first I wondered if you guys were country, but I heard so much more in there that, again, I was born in 1968, so I grew up through the 1970s, and, I come from a musical family, and the radio was on 24 hours a day, right, and that's, the 70s, was big in my house as far as music, and, it just, you guys put me to mind of that, but anyway.
Sure. You had Casey Kasem and the American Top 40 and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I used to record that on tape every morning when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I know, I did too. Oh, my gosh. It kind of dates us, doesn't it?
That's great.
Oh, my.
One of the reasons that you're hearing country, and I'll take full responsibility for the country part. I'm from Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk like a Southerner, and there's nothing I can do about it. I could be singing "Paranoid" by Black Sabbath, and it's going to sound a little bit like a Southern song, and that's just the way that is. I've made my peace with that.
Really? Now, let me ask you something. Are you from Lee County, Scott County, Virginia?
No, I'm originally from Alexandria, and grew up in Stafford County, though. I grew up in Stafford County, near Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sort of midway between D.C. and Richmond is where I grew up at.
Okay, we're Scott County, Lee County, Virginia, and Bristol through Kingsport. Well, actually, through the entire state of Tennessee. We'll just put it that way.
Right, gotcha. I've got a lot of family down through there too. My mother's family is all from southwestern Virginia, down Bristol, Abington, and so forth. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of and you know the way that my whole family is, they're all musical. Everybody plays something. All my cousins play something. They're trumpet players, guitar players, and drummers.
Wow.
It's just a natural sort of thing for me to do at this point.
Boy, I bet family reunions, Christmas, Thanksgiving was a blast at your house.
Oh, it was. Especially when you get all the Irishmen together.
Oh, boy.
Irishmen and cake and beer. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, well, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I cannot. My sister's married to, his mom's from Ireland and his father is from Scotland. So my brother-in-law is Scottish Welsh.
Uh-huh.
Or
wow.
Irish Welsh, or however it is, right there. His mom's from Ireland, his father's from Scotland, so.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Good St. Patrick's Day.
That's what I thought. Oh, anyway. Oh, my. So tell me about the song Red Eye. How did that come about?
Red Eye was a little different. Well, yeah, the first thing about Red Eye was it was our third song that landed on the top 40 charts. It spent about 7 weeks on the adult contemporary top 40 charts in the United States, on the FMTV charts in last year in 15. And
Wow.
It's still in rotation all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Red Eye was sort of inspired also by that same bus trip. There were 3 songs that came out of that bus trip. And Red Eye On the Run was one, and Red Eye was another. And if you watch the music video that comes with Red Eye,
Yes, I did.
The whole music video takes place on a cross-country bus.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and it's basically the singer has the main character has broken off his relationship and is divorced. The ring is off his finger. He is now broke and poor, left all his money behind. And he's got a bus ticket, and he's just traveling 1,000 miles on the overnight on the Red Eye bus just to start all over. And he feels like a whole weight has been lifted, and he's starting his life over again. And that's the story behind Red Eye.
Wow. That I know. When I was watching the video, I was really where is the video tape? Where did you guys do the video through? Where were you going through? What state?
Oh, say that again?
What state are you guys going through on that bus ride?
We were on Interstate 64 east and west between Richmond and Williamsburg for about 3 hours.
70 miles an hour.
70 miles an hour, jamming our butts off, full of people in there, just having a big party on the bus.
Wow. And the thing is was that like an actual tour bus?
Yes, it was. It was an old cross country. It was a 1956 GMC bus. Motor coach is what it was. And
Wow.
The owner volunteered to drive it. He was the only licensed driver.
Are you serious?
And so we said, yeah, we'll be happy to please come on, bring your bus, get the bus hat on, and we'll make sure that you get in the music video. And we'll put that gas in it for you. And he was jumping up and down, happy to do it.
Wow. Oh, are you there? I'm sorry, I lost you.
Oh,
Are you there?
yeah, we're here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start to wrap this up here.
Okay.
Can you give me your? I know, I'm sorry, but I can only go like 45 minutes total. So can you tell me a little bit about, can you give me your schedule and the places that you're going to be playing at, where people can go and find you and get your music?
Sure. Well, our main website is thej-o-band.com, and that's thejoband, thej-o-band.com.
And we're under on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. YouTube is youtube.com/thejoband TV, the J.O. Band TV, and slash the J.O. Band on all those other social media outlets.
And schedule-wise, we have we're going to do probably 45 shows this year. We've got 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 or so on the schedule left till Thanksgiving. And we're heading out of here Wednesday, actually. Day after tomorrow, we're on the road. We're going to be at the Hill, DA, in Forest, Virginia. And on the 11th, we're going to be at the Golden Leaf Bistro in Danville, Virginia. On the 12th, we're at Rody's Tavern in Greensboro, North Carolina. And on the 13th, we're at Craft City Sip-In in Greensboro, North Carolina. So we've got a twofer down there in Greensboro this weekend on the 12th and the 13th. And after that, please get on our Facebook page. We have our schedule posted there, also on our Reverb Nation and everywhere else.
Well, I'm going to ask you, do you come to Indiana at all?
We've been there, too.
Yeah, we'd love to get back out there. I actually spent a little bit of time in Indianapolis. My father lived out there around 76 or 7 time frame, and I spent one Christmas out there downtown in an apartment in Riley Towers. I'm not sure if that's even still there.
I have no idea.
My experience in Indy was that Christmas out there that year.
Aw, well, they do. I can honestly say Christmas here in Indiana is beautiful. So.
Oh, it was wonderful. The whole circle monument was decorated. And it was just really nice out there. It's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, guys, I want to say thank you so much, but I do want to say, real quick, so you guys have 5 albums basically out that you have in total.
Yes, we do.
So you have 3 nationally charted top 40s?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
We had Messenger was the first one, and that was in 2012. Feel was our second one, and that was in 13 to 14. It was on the top 40 for 6 months, actually.
6 months.
And from 2013 into 2014. And then we had Red Eye, which we put onto a radio, which went into rotation last year. And it was on the top 100 for a long time, but it was in the top 40 for about 7 years.
Wow.
So we're right now, we've got 8 songs written for our next album, and hopefully we'll be recording that before the end of 2017.
Wow, that is awesome, guys. Thank you so very much for coming and spending some time with me out of your busy schedule. Now, real quick, you said, are you going to be playing in Indiana or Illinois or one of the surrounding states here?
Well, in November, October, we're actually heading up to Ohio. On September 28th, we're in Pennsylvania at West Homestead, PA. And then on September 29th and 30th and October 1st, we're in Ohio. We're going to be in Columbus, Ohio, Clyde, Ohio, and Bellevue, Ohio.
The 29th to the 1st of October.
But we're trying to stretch out there Indianapolis, but hopefully we'll get out there before too long.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I would love to see you guys here.
It'd be great to have you. I have to set you up with a T-shirt, get you the whole bundle.
Woohoo! Well, I know I'm going to be playing your music. I am going to, actually, let me tell the folks what I'd like to do is I'm going to be playing On the Run, Who Do I Call, and Red Eye by the J.O.B. So that's please. Right. Come out, and if you're out and you see they're playing in your area, please go out and see them. Also, check them out on all their websites and find a way to get their music and get to see them. And again, thank you guys so very much for spending time with me. I really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Jackie. And thank you very much for having us and introducing us to your audience. We appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. And guys, good luck with everything. And I'm hoping I get a chance to meet you. So
I'm sure you will. We'll get out there soon.
Okay. Thank you. And again, this was Jim O'Farrell and Jason Crawford of the J.O.B. And again, this is Jackie Oyster Songistry saying thank you very much for hanging out with all of us. And please check out their websites and music. You guys have a good evening. Thank you.
You do the same, Jackie. Thank you much.
Uh-huh.
I hear the wind nervously in my sails. From yesterday it pushes on. Sun sets in front of me to no waving. Premonitions I know. In every town I go on the run. Oh, on the run. My disguise is now my trusted friend. They hunt for me, there is no end. I want the earth to take me back again, resting when I can. A weary, wanted man on the run. Oh, on the run. Nowhere left to run to after all I've been through. On the run, I feel them getting near. The end is close, I feel. On the learn my lesson and I feel the pain. I try to rectify the doubts remain. I beg the earth to make me pure again. Alone in the back road, nowhere left to go. On the run, oh, on the No time to take my time. A boarding call departure sign. Where to? Where from? Alone in the ticket line. No one here to leave behind. Feeling descend. No time is left to pretend you stay. I leave alone in the biosphere, transparent to all those here making believe. And who I call? Kid thinks he's gonna be a movie star. Motorists are rattling beneath our feet. Miles away, yeah, along the interstate. Day and tonight in the highway.